Well, hello and welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. Today, we've got the Disguised Clone Troopers kit and his reveal. Well, not really his in-game character reveal. This is probably Meathead's artistic rendition. So, let's just get into what the overview of the Disguised Clone Trooper is. He is another support Clone Trooper, Darkseid, obviously, Imperial. So, that gives us two supports, and that means I imagine Scorch will be the tank for the new Lord Vader team. So that's my thought, at least. I could be wrong, but I don't see why they would not give Vader a tank to replace Roguard with. Ruse is a new granted ability, I guess. Not really. It's a buff kind of thing. It adds additional effects to his abilities, and it's removed at the end of his turn. So it's like a kind of like a one turn kind of buff kind of thing, but it's not dispellable, I don't think. I don't know, but he has a territoire on me for Clever Ruse, which means we'll make it to where Ruse no longer expires, and if an enemy is inflicted with, and if any enemy does inflicted with Order 66 defeated, Vader and the Darkseid Clone Troopers all take bonus turns. So you know, let's see. So they suggest to be mindful of what you're doing whenever you attack people who are 6/6, especially Jedi or light side and light force users, because his special has bonuses against them, kind of thing. You can also do wonky things with damage over time stacks. And then if there's GR enemies and he doesn't have Ruse at the end of each of his turns, he gains stealth for 2 turns based off of his second unique. He has 2 uniques, only one. He has a basic special and 2 unique, so he's basically the same as CX2. Dropping on the 6th Relic 5 Rec for Jedi Master Mace Windu. And yeah, we don't have any of the attack animations, which kind of is not cool, but I mean, whatever. He's going to be doing special damage with the... His basic is Covert Assault, where he deals special damage to the target enemy. If he has Ruse, you stun for a turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. If the target enemy is already ability blocked or stunned, and all allies are Lord Vader, Grand Moff Tarkin, and or Darkseid Clone Troopers, sorry. You dispel all buffs on them and inflict Order 66 for 2 turns, which cannot be copied, dispelled, evaded, or resisted. So the ability blocked kind of ties in with Lord Vader. Which one is it? His second special, especially in ult, stuns. Alpos does stuns with his Nightfall Trooper as well. So, and I wonder if that'll have anything to do with Grand Moff Tarkin, because the way they said the split will be Scorch, and the Disguised Clone Trooper is going to be going Grand Moff Tarkin in 3v3. So obviously we won't know how well. I mean, I imagine people will try the Disguised Clone Trooper, whale him out on Tuesday next week before lock for the final week of 3v3 to run him with Vader. And then his only special has a 3-turn cooldown of well-executed ambush. It's a bit wordy. You're dealing special damage to all enemies, so it's an AoE, and you deal 10% more damage for each stack of damage over time on them. You do 20% if the Disguised Clone Trooper has Ruse, which stacks max 200%, and all Darkseid Clone Trooper allies gain advantage for 2 turns, so Lord Vader won't be getting advantage, but everyone else will. Now, if the target enemy was a light side, which would be for... this will be, you know, for not just the Galactic Republic or Jedi, so you inflict healing immunity, inflict them with healing immunity for 2 turns if they had Ruse. The healing immunity cannot be dispelled or resisted, and you inflict a stack of damage over time for 2 turns. Now you'll see a common theme throughout all of this. For Galactic Republic, you reduce their speed by 15 for 2 turns. If the Clone Trooper had Ruse, you reduce it by another 15, and you inflict a stack of damage over time for 2 turns. It's kind of repetitive. It's like, oh, if you do this and that. Basically, Ruse is just giving you extra ways of making life difficult for them. Jedi will be inflicted with offense down for 2 turns. If you had Ruse yet again, the offense down cannot be resisted or repelled, and another stack of damage over time will be inflicted for 2 turns. So, but Ruse, speaking of, his first unique is called, well, Clever Ruse with the Zeta and Ami. At the start of each of the disguised clone trooper's turns, I need to learn how to enunciate my words. If he was stealth, he recovers 50% health protection and gains 20% TM and Ruse until the end of that turn. So that's kind of the reason why all of his abilities are tied in with Ruse, because you know, you kind of want to have it depending on if you're using the special, if you're using the basic to get stuns out, and if you're going to be running him with Tarkin. I don't know if you're running with Tarkin for the first week of 3v3 because you won't have Scorch to hide the pair of them behind. But anyways, whenever the clone trooper attacks, he loses stealth. At the start of each enemy turns, if he was stealth, all other Darkside clone trooper allies gain retribution until the end of that enemy's turn. If that enemy was a Jedi, the disguised clone trooper gains nasty up until the end of that enemy's turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevents it. I guess that's a good way of keeping your buffs up, but I don't know if that'll negate the whole losing stealth at the end of, well, whenever he attacks. Now, while in Territory Wars, we kind of briefly covered it over at the very beginning, you know, making it to where it doesn't expire. But the Territory War Omni bit is Ruse will no longer expire until the end of the battle if an enemy is inflicted with Order 66 and they are defeated. Allied Lord Vader and Darkside clone troopers take a bonus turn. So it'll be kind of a defensive nuisance, especially if you have this Omni on your team and you have Oppo's Datacron, because then that means, I mean, they don't even have to have a full Darkside clones. They could have Darth Vader, Royal Guard, Shore Trooper, you know, Reba, depending on what your guild wants to run for Territory Wars. But Decoy Squad 5 is the Zeta on the second unique. At the start of the encounter, he gains 30% offense, and if there was a Galactic Republic enemy, he gains stealth for 2 turns. So it's a good way he gains stealth, but also you can turn around and look at this next line, and at the end of each of his turns, if he didn't have Ruse, he gains stealth for 3 turns. So if there are no GR enemies, you know, like, this won't be applicable. But since Ruse expires at the end of his turn, he's automatically getting stealth for 3 turns. And in the Zeta bit for this, I don't know why, I actually do like that they included what is the Zeta for this, because it's a very, very important Zeta, because this one is disgusting. If the target enemy had Order 66, the disguised clone trooper deals massive damage when attacking. If that target enemy was a Jedi or light side unaligned force user, he deals an additional instance of massive damage per relic and fire level. So theoretically, you can do an additional 9 stacks of massive damage if you're attacking a Jedi or light side unaligned force user. That is ridiculous, and this is applicable to the entire game, not just Territory War. This is applicable to Grand Arena, Squad Arena, where it'll be being tested very heavily. And yeah, and like, you know, then the fact that he's gonna be stealthing very, very often, basically all the time, because Ruse, I don't know. Okay, that'll be the confusing thing here, because I don't know if Ruse is going to be checked first by the game and then stealth gets applied, or if it's gonna check to see. I think it has to be that way. The way it's gonna have to be coded. Like, it's gonna, like, Ruse is dispelled, and then stealth is applied because Ruse was dispelled at the end of his turn, right? But the thing is, CG also has a, you know, history of not exactly testing things out properly. So, but yeah, that's my little rundown of this guy's Clone Troopers kit. It looks a little busted, I'm not gonna lie. Being able to stun on a basic because you have a Ruse, which can be evaded or resisted, is also pretty gnarly. And then you can dispel all buffs on the enemy and inflict Order 66 on them, which can then in turn help you with, you know, the Territory Army. And if they get defeated while Order 66 inflicted on them, your entire team gets a bonus turn. It's kind of ridiculous. So, and just being able to inflict extra healing immunity, reducing speed, extra offense down, that can't be you know, resisted or dispelled, or just, you know, the speed, and there's just no 15 speed being taken off. It's always beneficial. I don't know if it stacks though. I don't know if this bit for the Galactic Republic stacks or not. It does not say so. So maybe, maybe not. But the damage for each stack of damage over time does stack to 200%, but I don't know if this does. I don't imagine. These is only for 2 turns, so it would be reducing their speed by 30 for 2 turns. So I don't think it'll be like a constant thing, because you'd have to make him ridiculously fast to get the well-executed ambush to really rock and roll frequently enough to make it a stackable thing. So I guess that makes sense as to why it doesn't really be a constant thing, because by the, they probably have had their 2 turns by the time you get around to using this ability again, because it has a 3-turn cooldown, but that also will be more a matter of how your characters are how your Disguised Clone Trooper is modded, how their characters are modded, yada yada yada, who knows what else. But yeah, let me know what y'all think of him in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all later. I hope you have a good rest of your day.